1965. A hotel room somewhere on tour. Johnny Cash is in the next room, high on amphetamines, arguing with June Carter. You can hear them through the walls, screaming, crashing, chaos. In the adjacent room, a man sits quietly. His name is Saul Holiff. He's Johnny Cash's manager, and he's recording everything. A reel-to-reel tape recorder spinning silently. Johnny's voice captured. "I don't care what they paid. Cancel the show." June's voice. "You promised you'd stop." More crashes. Holiff labels the tape. Phoenix, November 1965, backstage incident. He files it with hundreds of others. This isn't the first tape. It won't be the last. For 10 years, from 1960 to 1973, Saul Holiff secretly recorded Johnny Cash. Phone calls, backstage fights, business meetings, drug deals, suicide threats, all of it documented. Johnny Cash never knew. He died in 2003. 9 years later, in 2012, the tapes were discovered, and the world heard what Johnny's closest business partner had been hiding. This is the story of the secret tapes that revealed the real Johnny Cash. The Johnny nobody was supposed to hear. Before we understand the betrayal, we need to understand the man. Saul Holiff, born 1924, London, Ontario, Canada. Jewish family, modest upbringing, career before Johnny, concert promoter, booked country music acts in Canada, small-time operator. Big ambitions, 1960. Saul meets Johnny Cash at a concert in Canada. Johnny is already famous. I Walk the Line equals #1 hit. Sun Records star, beginning of drug addiction, some pills. Saul's pitch to Johnny: "You're making money, but you're leaving millions on the table. Let me manage you. I'll make you rich." Johnny's situation in 1960, Vivian at home with 4 daughters, touring constantly, drug use increasing, no real business management. Johnny hires Saul Holiff. The partnership begins. 1960 to 1965. Holiff makes Johnny a fortune. What Holiff did right. Negotiated better concert fees, $5,000 to $25,000 per show. Booked stadium tours, not just honky-tonks. Got Johnny on TV, The Johnny Cash Show, 1969 to 1971. Managed publicity, brilliantly made Johnny one of the highest-paid performers in country music. The business relationship, Holiff took 15% commission. Standard manager rate. By 1965, Johnny was making $1 million plus per year. Holiff was making $150,000. Everyone's happy, except Holiff was starting to see things that worried him. The official reason Holiff later gave: documentation for legal protection. The real reasons: 1. Protecting himself. Johnny was unpredictable. Missing shows, breaking contracts, getting arrested. Holiff worried. Lawsuits if Johnny no-showed. Reputation damage if blamed for Johnny's behavior. Financial liability if Johnny owed money. Recording gave him evidence. This is what Johnny said. This is what happened. 2. Covering his own role. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Holiff enabled Johnny's addiction. How? Hired tour managers who scored drugs, looked the other way when Johnny was high before shows, kept Johnny performing even when he was dying. Why? Because if Johnny didn't perform, Holiff didn't get paid. Recording conversations protected Holiff. If anyone later asked, "Why didn't you stop him?" he could say, "Listen to the tapes. I tried." 3. Possible tell-all book. Holif's son Jonathan later suggested, "My father talked about writing a book someday. These tapes might have been research." A behind-the-scenes expose of Johnny Cash. The book was never written, but the tapes were ready. Let's talk about what Holif actually recorded. Over 10 years, 1960 to 1973, Holif made hundreds of recordings. Here's what was captured. Tape 1, The Drug Deal Phone Call, 1966. Date, unknown, labeled Memphis Hotel. Recording, Johnny on phone, slurred speech, clearly high. "Yeah, I need more. Can you get me more? I'll pay double, triple, whatever." Pause. "I don't care how much. Just bring them to the hotel." Background. June Carter's voice screaming, You promised me you'd stop." Johnny ignores her, continues on phone. Room 412. Come to the back entrance. End of recording. Holif's notes on tape label. J. Arranging pickup, Memphis, November 66. Tape 2, The Violent Outburst, 1965. Date, Phoenix, backstage. Recording, sound of something crashing. Johnny's voice, loud. "I don't care what they paid. Cancel it. Cancel the whole damn tour." Holif's voice, calm, trying to de-escalate. "Johnny, there are 10,000 people in that arena. We can't." "Johnny, I didn't ask what you think. I said cancel it." More crashing. Sounds like furniture being thrown. June's voice, "Johnny, stop. You're going to hurt yourself." Johnny, "Get out. Everyone get out." End of recording. Holif's notes. Violent episode, show canceled, $50,000 loss. Tape 3, The Suicidal Confession, 1967. Date. Private conversation, hotel room recording. Johnny's voice, quiet, defeated, sober for once. "Saul, can I ask you something?" Holif, "Of course." "Johnny, do you think anyone would care if I just ended it?" Holif, alarmed. "Johnny, don't talk like that. If you want more untold stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Your support means everything to us." Johnny, "No, seriously. Sometimes I think about it. What if I just didn't wake up one day? Would anyone care? Or would they just find another singer?" Holif, "Your fans love you. Your family." Johnny, interrupting, "My family? Vivian hates me. My daughters barely know me. And Jack's been waiting 20 years. Maybe it's time I joined him." Long silence. Holif, "Johnny, I think you need to see a doctor." Johnny, "I've seen doctors. They just give me more pills." End of recording. Holif's notes. Suicidal, October 67, week before cave incident. Note, this was recorded days before Johnny crawled into Nickajack Cave. Not all the tapes were about drugs. Some revealed the business side of Johnny Cash. And it wasn't pretty. Tape 4, The Contract Fight, 1968. Recording Johnny, "I'm not doing Ed Sullivan. I don't care what you booked." Holif, "Johnny, they're paying $50,000. That's more than..." Johnny, "I don't care. I'm done being a dancing monkey for these people." Holif, "This is your career." Johnny, "My career? My career. You mean your 15%, right? That's what this is about." Holif, defensive, "That's not fair." Johnny, "Isn't it? Every decision you make, who benefits? Me or you?" Holif, "If you're not happy with my management." Johnny, "Maybe I'm not." Silence. End of recording. Holif's notes. Considering firing me, Ed Sullivan canceled. Tape 5, The Money Argument, 1971. Recording, Holif. Johnny, the IRS is saying you owe $400,000 in back taxes. Johnny, that's impossible. Where did the money go? Holif, where did it go? Johnny, do you know how many shows you've canceled? How many lawsuits we've settled? Johnny, that's your job to manage. Holif, I can't manage money that's being spent on pills and lawyers. Johnny, so now you're blaming me? Holif, frustrated, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm stating facts. Johnny, facts? You want facts? Fact, I make millions. Fact, you take 15%. Fact, I'm broke and you're not. Holif, that's not how percentages work. Johnny, get out. End of recording. Holif's notes. Tax crisis, Jay blames me. Relationship deteriorating. Some tapes revealed Johnny's personal life. Details that would devastate June if she heard. Tape 6. The Confession, 1972. Recording, Johnny drunk. Saul, can I tell you something? Man to man? Holif, sure. Johnny, I'm not always faithful to June. Holif, uncomfortable. Johnny, I don't think I should. Johnny, no, listen. She saved me. She got me clean. She married me, and I still. Holif, still what? Johnny, on the road. Different cities. There are women. Silence. Johnny, does that make me a terrible person? Holif, I think you should have this conversation with June, not me. Johnny, laughing bitterly. Right. Because that would go well. End of recording. Holif's notes. Personal confession, do not share. Note. This tape was never released publicly, but it exists. By 1970, Holif and Johnny's relationship is toxic. Why? From Johnny's perspective, Holif only cares about money. Holif enabled his addiction, kept him touring while dying. Holif is controlling 15% commission feels like theft from Holif's perspective. Johnny is ungrateful. Johnny blames Holif for his own bad decisions. Johnny is impossible to manage, unpredictable, violent, erratic. Holif is exhausted. 1973, The Breaking Point, March 1973. Johnny and Holif meet in Nashville. Johnny, Saul, this isn't working anymore. Holif, what do you mean? Johnny, I'm letting you go. As my manager. Holif, not surprised. I see. Johnny, it's not personal. I need new direction. Holif, after 13 years, it's not personal? Johnny, you've made a lot of money off me, Saul. More than most managers ever see. Holif, and you've made a lot more because of me? Johnny, maybe, but I think it's time we part ways. Holif doesn't fight it. He's tired. He's done. But he doesn't delete the tapes. He packs them carefully and takes them home to Canada. After the firing, Holif's life, 1973 to 1980s, manages a few other acts, no one as big as Johnny, eventually leaves music industry, opens a restaurant in Canada, 1990s to 2000. Retirement, raises his family, keeps the tapes locked in storage. His son Jonathan asks, Dad, why did you record all those tapes? Holif's answer, protection, documentation, history. Jonathan, are you going to do anything with them? Holif, maybe someday, but not while Johnny's alive. That wouldn't be right. September 12th, 2003. Johnny Cash dies. Holif's reaction per Jonathan. Holif sits quietly, doesn't cry, just says, he was a great artist and a difficult man. I'm glad I knew him, and I'm glad it's over. April 21st, 2005. Saul Holof dies of cancer, age 81. The tapes sit in storage for 7 more years. 2012. London, Ontario, Canada. Jonathan Holof is cleaning out his late father's storage unit. Boxes of paperwork, old photos, junk. Then he finds them. Hundreds of reel-to-reel tapes, meticulously labeled J. Cash, Phoenix 1965. Phone call, drugs, 1966. Violent episode, backstage. Suicidal talk, October 1967. Jonathan listens to one tape, then another, then another. He's shocked. This is his father's voice and Johnny Cash's voice. Private conversations, secret recordings, hundreds of hours. Jonathan's reaction. I had no idea my father did this. I knew they had a complicated relationship, but I didn't know Dad recorded everything. The question, what should Jonathan do with the tapes? Option 1, destroy them. Respect Johnny's memory. Protect the secrets. Option 2, sell them. To collectors, tabloids, highest bidder. Option 3, make them public for historical purposes, educational, honest. Jonathan chooses option 3.2012 to 2014. Jonathan Holof partners with filmmaker James Keach. They create a documentary, My Father and the Man in Black, Saul Holof and Johnny Cash. Released 2012. What the documentary reveals, the secret recordings, excerpts played. Holof's perspective on managing Johnny. The business fights, the drug years, the firing. The ethical question, was recording Johnny right or wrong? Critical reception, some praised it. Honest look at a complicated relationship. Some criticized it. Exploiting a dead man's privacy. Cash family. No public comment. The documentary is available to watch. The tapes are real. Here's the haunting truth. Johnny Cash died in 2003. The tapes were discovered in 2012. Johnny never knew his manager recorded him. Imagine if he had known. Scenario 1. Johnny finds out in 1973 during the firing, Johnny, you recorded me for 10 years? Would he have sued? Would he have destroyed Holof's career? We'll never know. Scenario 2. Johnny finds out in the 1990s, older, wiser Johnny. Would he have understood? I was a nightmare to manage. I don't blame Saul for protecting himself. Or would he still feel betrayed? Scenario 3. Johnny finds out after June's death, 2003. Grieving, vulnerable Johnny. Would hearing his own voice from the drug years have destroyed him? Or given him perspective? We'll never know. Because Johnny died before the tapes were found. He never got to defend himself, explain context, approve or deny their release, forgive or condemn Holof. The tapes exist. Johnny's response doesn't. The debate. Team. Holof was right to record arguments. Legal protection. Johnny was unpredictable, violent, breaking contracts. Holof needed documentation, historical value. These tapes give us honest insight into Johnny's struggles. Not sanitized biography, real pain. Holof's right. As a business partner, Holof had the right to protect himself from a client who was self-destructing. Johnny wasn't innocent. Johnny knew he was being difficult. He knew Holof had reasons to document. Team. Holof was wrong to record arguments. Consent. Johnny never consented. Recording someone without permission equals violation of trust. Exploitation. Holliff waited until Johnny was dead to release. Can't defend himself. That's cowardly. Cherry picking. The documentary shows Holliff's selected excerpts. We don't hear the full context. Profit motive. Did Holliff record for protection or for a potential tell-all book documentary? The truth? Probably both teams are right. Holliff had reasons to record, but recording without consent is still a betrayal. 2012. Documentary released. The Cash family's response. Silence. No lawsuits, no public statements, no interviews about the tapes. Why? Possible reasons? 1. They already knew. Maybe Johnny told them about Holliff's recordings before he died. Maybe they're not surprised. 2. Legal reasons. Suing would bring more attention to the tapes. Better to let them fade into obscurity. 3. Respect for truth. The tapes are real. The Cash family knows Johnny struggled. Denying it would be dishonest. 4. Roseanne Cash's philosophy. Roseanne has always been honest about her father's flaws. She wrote songs about it. She's written memoirs about it. Maybe she believes the tapes should exist because they're true. Whatever the reason, the Cash family let the documentary exist without protest. The tapes don't tell us anything new about Johnny Cash. We already knew. He was addicted to drugs. He was violent when high. He struggled with depression. He had a complicated relationship with managers, but the tapes give us his voice, not a biography, not a memoir written years later. Johnny Cash in the moment, raw, unfiltered, real. What we hear: 1. The guilt. Johnny knew he was hurting people. These forgotten stories deserve to be told. If you think so too, subscribe and like this video. Thank you for keeping these memories alive. He knew Vivian was suffering. He knew he was disappointing his daughters. The tapes capture him saying it out loud. 2. The self-destruction. Johnny wasn't just an addict. He was actively trying to destroy himself. The suicidal talk, the reckless behavior. He wanted to die. 3. The loneliness. Even surrounded by people, June, band, managers, Johnny sounds alone. The tapes reveal a man trapped in his own hell. 4. The complexity. Johnny could be charming, business calls, violent, backstage fights, vulnerable, suicidal confessions, manipulative, blaming others, all in the same week. The tapes show Johnny Cash was human, deeply flawed, deeply talented, deeply broken. It's easy to judge Holliff as a betrayer. But consider his experience. Imagine managing Johnny Cash from 1960 to 1973. Year 1, 1960. Johnny's great. Successful shows, making money, everything's perfect. Year 3, 1963. Johnny's using pills regularly, occasional no-shows. Stressful but manageable. Year 5, 1965. Johnny arrested in El Paso, 1,163 pills. National scandal. Holliff has to do damage control. Year 7, 1967. Johnny weighs 155 pounds, hallucinating, suicidal. Holliff genuinely worried Johnny will die, but if Johnny doesn't perform, Holliff doesn't get paid. Moral dilemma. Keep Johnny performing, enabling addiction but feeding family. Stop Johnny performing, let him recover but lose income. Holliff chose keep performing, and he recorded it all to cover his own conscience. Year 13, 1973. Johnny fires him. After 13 years of bailing Johnny out of jail, apologizing to promoters for no-shows, dealing with lawsuits, managing chaos, Johnny fires him. No thank you, no pension, just, you're done. How would you feel? Maybe you'd keep those tapes too. Today, the Saul Holiff tapes exist in documentary form, 2012 film, archives, some donated to museums, private collections, some still with Holiff family. What's their value? 1. Historical. They document a critical period in Johnny Cash's life, 1960 to 1973. The drug years, the near death, the redemption. 2. Educational. For music students, biographers, historians, raw primary sources. 3. Cautionary, about the music industry, about addiction, about the cost of fame. 4. Ethical, about consent, privacy, and documentation. Where's the line between historical record and violation of privacy? The tapes live in that gray area. We'll never know what Johnny would say about the tapes. But based on who he was, possible response number 1. Angry. Saul recorded me without permission for 10 years? That's a betrayal. Those were private moments, private pain. He had no right. Possible response number 2, understanding. I was a nightmare to manage. I was violent, unpredictable, suicidal. Saul needed to protect himself. I get it. Possible response number 3, sad. Listening to those tapes, that's who I was. That's the man I'm not proud of. But it's the truth. Maybe people should hear it. Possible response number 4, pragmatic. Those tapes are history now. I can't change them. I can't erase them. So let them exist. Let people learn from my mistakes. Which Johnny would respond? Probably all of them. Because Johnny was complex, angry and understanding, sad and pragmatic. Just like the man on the tapes. 1960, Saul Holiff presses record for the first time. 1973, Saul Holiff presses stop for the last time. 13 years, hundreds of tapes. 2003, Johnny Cash dies, never knowing. 2005, Saul Holiff dies, taking the secret to his grave. 2012, the tapes are discovered. The world hears what Johnny never knew was recorded. His pain, his violence, his addiction, his humanity. The question we're left with: was Saul Holiff a betrayer or a documentarian? Did he exploit Johnny or protect himself? Should the tapes exist, or should they have been destroyed? There's no easy answer, because the truth is complicated. Saul Holiff recorded Johnny Cash without consent. That's a violation of trust. But the recordings are real. They document a real man in real pain. And maybe that's valuable. Or maybe it's just sad that the world gets to hear Johnny Cash at his worst, without his permission, without his defense, without his voice in the conversation. Just a tape recorder, spinning, capturing everything, forever. If this hidden truth shocked you, there are many more secrets waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe to Johnny Cash, The Hidden Truth, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next revelation. Like this video if the Man in Black's story moved you. And remember, the truth can't stay buried forever. See you in the next episode.